When we're young, life feels light. And it's not because there's no suffering, but because death still lies out of sight. We're all just climbing the hill of existence with a ton of energy and hope, totally unaware of what's waiting for us on the other side. But for the philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer, even that early climb was already shadowed by distance, by his temperament, and just this instinctive need to turn away from the crowd.
So this quote from Schopenhauer himself really sets the stage for everything we're going to talk about. He's painting this picture of life as a mountain climb. And on the way up, you're just full of energy, you're focused on getting to the top, and you simply can't see the inevitable descent that's waiting. It's a powerful, almost kind of haunting way to look at a life, isn't it?
Okay, so to really get Schopenhauer, the philosopher, we have to go way back to the boy. Because it seems like he was just, wired for isolation right from the very start, long before he ever wrote a single word of philosophy.
I mean, there was just something primal about Arthur's nature. Even as a kid, he really struggled to connect with people. And you can see this in letters from his own parents. His mother called his nature rough and self-pleasing, and his dad was always pushing him, trying to get him to just be more agreeable. It's like he instinctively pushed people away.
But this temperament, it didn't just come out of nowhere. The Schopenhauer family had a serious history of profound psychological turmoil. His father suffered from chronic depression and eventually committed suicide. His grandmother was so violent and unstable she had to be institutionalized. And his uncles, they faced their own severe challenges. I mean, this was the world he was born into.
So as he gets older, young Arthur starts to take this inherited distance and he cultivates it. He turns it into this unique way of seeing the world, one that valued a high, detached perspective above everything else. He developed this idea he called the cosmic perspective. Think about it like this. It's like looking at the world through the wrong end of a telescope. All our human stuff, our little worries, our big dramas, our joys, it all just shrinks and becomes tiny, almost insignificant. From way up there, you can see the big patterns, but you totally lose the details of individual people's lives.
And this right here, this really gets to the core of what shaped his whole philosophy. You can see these two forces kind of pulling at him. On one hand, you have this pull from above, the clean, intellectual beauty of that cosmic view, what he called the pure, cool mountain air. But at the exact same time, there's this powerful push from below, a deep-seated contempt for humanity, for what he called the animalistic warmth of the crowd, for people he would just dismiss as bipeds.
And man, this quote just perfectly captures his whole life's journey. He knew this road to clarity was going to be a lonely one, and he embraced it. The higher you climb, the clearer the view gets, but the more isolated you become. And for him, that was a price worth paying.
But that begs a really important question, doesn't it? I mean, it's one thing to have this high-minded intellectual view from your mountaintop, but what happens when that philosophy crashes into the messy reality of human relationships? To explore that, we're actually going to jump forward in time to a modern story that shows exactly what this looks like in real life.
Okay, so picture this. We're walking into a therapy group. A woman named Pam has just gotten back from a trip, and she's about to walk into a room where a ghost from her past is waiting for her.
The new group member's name is Philip. And Pam's reaction, it is just immediate and it's explosive. The peace of the entire group is just shattered in an instant. She doesn't see a new member. She sees a monster.
So Pam just lays out this absolutely devastating story. She was a young, vulnerable student, and she was manipulated by Philip, who was her teaching assistant. He seduced her, then callously dropped her. But the worst part, the absolute worst part, was the sheer cruelty of it. After he dumped her best friend, Molly, he handed Molly a list of his conquests for the month, with Pam's name right at the top. A move that was clearly designed to cause the maximum amount of pain and destroy their friendship.
And you've got to hear Philip's response to this. He talks about himself in the third person, like he's talking about someone else entirely. He doesn't apologize, he just reframes the entire thing, accusing Molly of burglarizing his apartment. There's absolutely zero acknowledgement of the pain he caused.
So when he's faced with this raw, open wound from 15 years ago, Philip doesn't retreat into an apology or any kind of remorse. Nope. He retreats into a cold, philosophical defense.
So what's his defense? Get this. Philip literally argues that he is not the same person. He uses this scientific idea of cellular regeneration to completely absolve himself of any moral responsibility. It's like the ultimate intellectual get-out-of-jail-free card.
But yeah, the rest of the group, they're not buying it for a second.
Another member, Tony. His sarcastic comeback just nails it, right? It perfectly highlights this huge, unbridgeable gap between Philip's intellectual argument and Pam's very real, lasting pain. You just can't reason away a wound like that.
And there it is. That's Schopenhauer's philosophy, right there in its raw, modern form. Philip just states it plainly. Connecting with other people leads to agitation and unhappiness. For him, the only way to find peace is through isolation.
But just look at the damage. This isn't some high-minded philosophical debate anymore. This is real. Philip's philosophy, his prized detachment, caused actual, lasting trauma. It destroyed a friendship and left a deep scar on Pam that hasn't faded in 15 years. And you just have to wonder, was his personal peace really worth all of her pain?
You see, Philip's story isn't just some random anecdote. It's a pretty chilling, real-world echo of the exact path Schopenhauer chose for himself. It's a demonstration of what that high mountain road actually looks like to the people living down on the ground.
And this is the kicker, the really fascinating part. The ultimate irony here is that a young Schopenhauer actually saw this danger coming. He literally wrote a note to himself, a warning that this supposedly objective, detached worldview could just be a cover for his own personal biases, for his own inability to connect with people. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, both Schopenhauer and his modern echo, Philip, they found what they were looking for on their isolated mountaintops. They got what they wanted, right? They achieved that perspective, that ability to see everything from a distance, where individual lives just don't seem to matter all that much.
But that clear view comes with a pretty haunting question, doesn't it? Is a clear view of the world really worth the price of being completely alone in it? From the heights of his early solitude, Schopenhauer learned to see the world with incredible clarity, but the price of that clarity was a lifelong separation from everyone who lived below. Follow us for more.